Right, so hopefully we've got this now. This is where life gets a bit tricky. Is what I want to do is I want to pull out small tufts of grass off the top of this. So you'd think, okay, let's go to the wave and just drag them out, but absolutely nothing happens. Now the reason for that, if I look at the node arrow, we can see we've got one node there, and we've got one node down there, and we've got a little chamfer node which does that. That's nowhere near enough nodes to make grass or anything, so we need to have a couple of things to start with. The first one is I need to take this and convert it instead of into what is still, if we look, a rectangle. As you see, I've still got all the bits of rectangle. I'm going to change this now to be a 4-node object. So, way I'll do that, right, with it highlighted, doesn't matter, either of these will do, as long as it's highlighted. I go path, object to path. Now if we look at the nodes, you can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, no nodes. That's still not good enough because you're not going to get any grass with just 4 nodes. So I highlight these 2 top nodes. Now you can either do that by dragging a box over using the node tool or holding the shift key and clicking on both of those individually. With both of those highlighted, if I hit this plus button there, it will add nodes between any highlighted nodes along a line. So I'll do it a few times. Now, and that looks great, and you think, oh perfect, now I can take this wave and I can go through and I'll get it, but again, nothing happens. Right, let's have a look at what's happened to the nodes now, and as you can see, the nodes have shrunk down considerably. So something went horribly wrong there. Right, so before we can use the wave tool, we actually have to use some of these nodes to give it shape and meaning, otherwise it will simplify itself. So, once you've created lots of these little nodes, with the node tool on, I'm going to click on a few of them, move it up, pull down, doesn't matter which, there's one up, there's another one up, so I'm just taking a few of these nodes, going across. I know that's a bit laborious, but it will work. Now, you also got to remember that we have zoomed in a lot here. So, these can be quite large. Also, I'm trying to keep a relatively repeating pattern. So there we go. A couple more. And making sure that that node stays the same height as that node there, otherwise we have problems. So in fact there we go. Now, if I hit it now with this, and I'm going to have a bit more width I think, a bit more width on this, it should, oops, all going well, it wasn't on waveform, it should, there we go, I can start having a bit more roundness coming off it. So it doesn't look quite so. Let's move that bit down there, increase the force of it. There we go. So that's looking a lot more fun now. Okay. And I can play around with this and just play around with these settings a while. Just going to see how we go with it. Right. Now the last part. Making sure that that lined up neatly with that, getting my height right, just about there. I'm going to highlight both of those, and I'm going to shrink them down to just about the right size. There we go. That's about the right size for a platform. So I get the perspective I want just right. And I want to test it quickly, so I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it and have 2 of them side by side because, oops, it's right there, there we go, like this. Move them across, and does it look natural when they're side by side? Do I get away with it? And yes, I think that looks very good. So there we have it, so I've made a platform, nice and simple. Okay, so there's one method of using it. And you can see it kind of makes a nice random pattern. I want you to give one of those a try and do that now. And in the next video I'll show you how to export it. Off you go.